Hi, welcome back to the channel. So it's been a good couple of months since I've posted. So I thought I'd better do an update in case any of you are wondering what's going on. So first of all, big changes. The Wild West porn stash has arrived in Luxembourg. So part of a social experiment I'm doing just to see if I could put myself outside of my comfort zone and see what did I really care what people thought. The reality is no. For someone who has constantly thought about or worried about what other people thought of him, making sure that they were a good person, etc. I actually thought I'd try it. First of all, I thought I could pull it off. So I'm not sure what your thoughts are, but let me know in the comments below. Maybe I'm bringing it back. So let's have a look. Um, but yeah, it was it was a good social experiment to see if I would actually go through with it. So I did it the other day where I attended something for my kids' school, and there was a lot of people that I knew. The reality was, not many people actually cared about it. They might have a bit of a laugh. I've got a few little jokes about it. Nothing too sinister. Some people just didn't even notice. So it was really interesting for me to actually go through that process and understand, okay, I didn't die. Um, what I look like doesn't really matter. And I was still the same on the inside. Um, I must admit, I tried to be brave and go through it. At one point, I was like, oh, can I actually do it? But then I forgot about it. And now it's been just under a week. I quite like it. I'm going to see how long I can keep going with it. Either it's going to get annoying or there'll be some reason to actually do it. But it was a good experiment for me to sort of to see, about fitting in. Now I know a lot of people uh, don't want to fit in anyway, but I've spent most of my life wanting to fit in, or when I stepped outside those lines, then felt that people wanted me to, be back inside the box, so it made them more comfortable. So yeah, it was a good experiment. I recommend it if you have the bravery to try it. Obviously, do something different that people might make fun of you of, but also not to take yourself so seriously. I think it's we do, especially in the world of LinkedIn. I think to myself, well, you know, do you have to be professional? I come from a corporate world where everything seems smart and professional, but the reality is behind the scenes, most of the times, things aren't as professional as you think, and that doesn't mean that the way you dress or the way that you look doesn't mean that you can't be professional. But we should also be enjoying ourselves, bring the human side into work. So yeah, it's good. So otherwise, what's been going on? Oof. So I'm running towards the end of my unemployment period. This is a taxing thing on my mind. It's been a bit scary because I know the money's running out. Luckily, I have some contingency plan for a little while, and I'm going to use that just to sort of see me through. Now, that's not ideally. I want to use all of that, but I want to design. I don't know. Let's say the next year of being able to do the things that I want to do in the way that I want to. I've been restricted by being under the unemployment scheme, which obviously makes sense. But the life that I've always thought I wanted was to be able to travel from Luxembourg back to the UK, have that freedom lifestyle. I have two children, so they have to go to school, but they've got school holidays coming up, and I wondered if the fantasy would actually be as good in reality. So I'm going to test and see if I can actually travel back to the UK more regularly, see my family, work from there when I'm not looking after the children. So yeah, just kind of experiment, because I think we have these ideas in our head. When we have this, or it'll be like that. And what's the reality? Is it more of a pain in the backside to do these things? Um, so yeah, I'm setting up a series of these experiments just to kind of design the life that I want and see where that goes. In terms of the business itself, yeah, it's I've been frustrated for a good couple of months now. It seems that I can't quite grasp onto what my niche is and to help people. I'm not sure if I've got some blocks around that, or it's just a case I've got to keep progressing. Um, I've had different inputs. I've got a kind of a career coach, as you know. Also employed a on another course to help me sort of connect with clients. And at some point, it just felt that these things were conflicting, and I just focused on one, and then did that, and then the other side, and the things that we were trying to do were separate. These are unrelated actions, but I just felt that I was doing things in a way that other people wanted me to, and it wasn't driving me in the right direction. All at the same time that I wasn't getting clients, I wasn't connecting with people, and I was asked to maybe focus on other parts of my talents, and potentially the communication part of me just needed to sort of sit in the background for a while. So I did that, got frustrated, kind of got angry at the people trying to give me the advice and the direction, which wasn't their fault. It's just this internal feeling when you're trying to move forward. You really want to do something, maybe almost in a desperation attempt, and ultimately that ends up um, uh, producing nothing, and that can be very difficult and frustrating. So I kind of took a back seat a few weeks ago and just said, look, I'm just going to do the things that I like doing, that I think I'm very good at, and see where that takes me. I have this luxury of a few more months and build this life and see if I can do that. Even doing that, I can feel some resistance. I see when people respond to me. I get up from my desk, I can see that I don't reply immediately. It's almost something in there is like, oof. And I don't know if that's protecting me in some way, or it's a block, or it weighs heavy on my mind. Is this not the right thing? So there's a whole load of things going on. I think the overriding feeling over the last couple of months was being lost, really unclear. And the people around me said, yeah, they could see that I was making progress. But when you don't see it yourself, it's difficult. And I think I'm still not clear, but I think through conversations, understanding what people want, I'm still doing the LinkedIn thing every day, daily posts. I've been consistent about that. I'm a bit of a die-hard in terms of making sure that my posts go out every day, and just seeing where that takes me is it's a strange aspect in terms of followers, because I think I'm nearly 3,900 followers. When I hit that 3,000, I thought, oh, that's a massive jump. The reality is followers doesn't equal work, doesn't equal clients. But through consistency, every day I invite 20 new people to follow me. And I am building up. So I'm nearing that 4,000 mark. But that's just a vanity metric. And it doesn't really, well, it doesn't equate to anything. But I'm wondering if layering that with conversations, LinkedIn Lives, more of those, that will bring my audience to me, and maybe how I can help people will reveal itself without putting too much pressure on myself. Just enjoy the process, and yeah, see where it takes me. Now, in terms of selecting people to connect with, I've actually tried to narrow it down now. So I'm just focusing solely on leaders and founders and people in leadership positions that are women. Why? So it felt a bit strange at first, the whole sort of sexist part. I remember years ago mentioning this to my therapist of, I wanted to help women, and she kind of explained to me, well, that feels very much like, the male trying to help the female. And so I was a bit concerned that's the way it was coming across. But I did some soul searching, and it wasn't that. It's just I'm able to have better conversations, deeper conversations with women. They seem more open to me, more engaging. more willing to share some of their inner thoughts, rather than, I think men remain quite guarded. That's not all men for sure, but it feels that it's easier for me to talk to women, to understand and to connect. That has nothing to do with any savior complex or anything. It's easier. So I'm going to lean into that and see if that brings anything. Yeah, so we'll see. So other than that, yeah, it's I'm trying to get unstuck by just focusing on what I like to do. Now that might seem a bit unproductive. I get a lot of feedback from family and friends. Maybe that's counterintuitive. I'm not really making progress. So that's a whole amount of pressure that you kind of have to push back on. And they're the things that, starting your own business, you don't really think about. People might think it's, in the beginning it's a good idea and they'll support you, but at some stage, people's doubts start to set in, and they can project all over you. So somehow you have to kind of give them some confidence that you know what you're doing, even when you don't. So I think having faith in something is important. Now, I've struggled in this regard because faith in that I know it's going to work, I don't know, because I don't know what it is that I'm building. I know that I want to do it. When I think, oh, can I sustain a lifestyle, especially in Luxembourg, it's not a cheap place to live, and I have 2 children to look after part-time. Can I do it? And what do I need to get there? So I think following everyone else's guidance, there's loads of people that will be out there to try and help you on your way. But they're trying to sell their framework, the thing that worked for them. And when you try to apply that to yourself, sometimes it works, but oftentimes if it's not aligned to you, then it can be more frustrating because you're just not getting the results, even though you're putting in the time. I think you feel that internally. I certainly have, in terms of there's some resistance. I know that I'm a clever person. I know I can do things. And when something's of interest to me, then I go fully in and do it my way. I think I do heavily resist being told what to do. I think that's probably a big part of actually starting my own company in the first place. I like collaborating with people, but when people project and tell me what to do, kind of get that trigger inside me that I want to run away. So yeah, so that's it. Bit of a ramble, but yeah, it's been a long time, and I wanted to put a video out there and share my thoughts. So yeah. For now, that's it. If you've got any comments, you want to know any more, I'm playing with the idea of branching out into Instagram and YouTube more in terms of putting my videos out, playing, I guess, in different social medias and seeing if they work. I just don't want to move my focus and my attention away from LinkedIn. So if I can automate that in some way, just bring out the content that I've been posting on LinkedIn and see if it works in Instagram or YouTube. Let's see. But yeah, it's one of those things I'm unsure about. I had the idea the other day, but haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. It's I don't think it's that difficult to set up, but just something's resisting. So can't do everything at once. So let's see how it goes. That's it. So hopefully that was a good update for you. Any questions, please fire them away. If you want some guidance, great. I'm going to try doing more LinkedIn lives. I'm trying to get a bit more of a cadence. And so I'm going to see if there's an appetite for people to have more conversations. I think one of the big things for me has been using this Canbox. So I'm sure there's other applications, but this Canbox effectively, when I connect with someone and they accept, automatically fires off a very light connection message, nothing heavy, no sales or anything. And I'm finding that more people respond, and that starts conversations, which is something that I hadn't done before. And I think those conversations lead to more awareness, and you can go from there. So, and because that's automated in the background, obviously the connections on a daily basis are something that I'm doing. But once they connect, that email, that message, and the follow up one is good, and starts conversations. And I'm adding that personal touch. So finally, if people do respond to me, I'm using a voicemail or voice message. I can do that via Canbox, or you can even do it in LinkedIn directly. But it's a way to um, add that personal touch, show that you aren't a salesy person, just even make a difference in people's day. Just I look at their profile, see something that I think is good and worth mentioning, what we could connect on, and if it feels right, I just say, look, maybe they'd consider doing a LinkedIn Live with me, and the response seems more positive, and because of that automatic process happens in the background, it's part of my daily process, and conversations start. You never know where that might lead, even if it's to great connections and a community. That's okay for me. Ideally, it would be nice that there was work involved and clients, but for now, I'm just planting the seeds. So that's it from me. I hope you're all well, and I look forward to giving you the next update soon. Take care. Bye.